Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino calling line at 405-329-9000. Text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439. Live from the Buffalo Wild Wing Studios, here's Mike Steely and Parker Thune.
Welcome to the weekend, everybody. Welcome to Friday. We are here at the one and only Riverwind Casino. Mike Steely, right outside of Chips and Ales Pub Restaurant. Normally, we would have Plank here right before me, but Chris, of course, will have his usual great call of Sooner softball coming up for you tonight as they're in Fayetteville to take on Arkansas. It's going to be a Diamond Sports weekend. You've got the Sooners in Columbia, South Carolina, Skip Johnson and company, and Patty and the OU women, number one in the country, 23-0, taking on her son DJ, the hitting instructor for the Razorbacks tonight. 6 o'clock for the OU softball team in Fayetteville tonight. Skip and company, 6 o'clock, 5:30 pregame for the Sooners and South Carolina on the road. And getting ready for the weekend here at Riverwind Casino. There's always something happening out here. Nearly 3,000 electronic games right here for you on a incredible gaming floor. They have all the best games. They have all of your favorite table games that you love so much as well. They have 2 table game pits, 2 high-stakes areas, an Oasis gaming area that's smoke-free. We also have the Skyloft gaming area upstairs. Great promotions tonight. Another round of drawings in the 80K Golden Clovers giveaway. You can win a share of 80K in cash and bonus play. Come on out here and hopefully hear your name called on the intercom and collect your share of cash and bonus play. We've got another big show coming up tomorrow night. It was a week ago tonight. The 38 special was on the Showplace Theater stage with a great show by all accounts. And Bonnie Raitt, Grammy Award winner, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, in concert at the Showplace coming up again tomorrow night here at Riverwind. Great bars and dining options here. The River Buffets, big time. Chips and Ales Pub Restaurant, where I'm camped out right in front of Chips and Ales. Great option as well. They've got food court choices that are incredible. Newly designed food court here in the last year that really is nice. And, of course, the Coupe Ale House Bar. Always good times and great rewards here at Riverwind Casino. All right, before we bring Parker in, last night, T-Row on the call, last few minutes in Nashville last night, and looked good for the Sooners until the last few seconds when things went the wrong way.
Oweh spins out of a trap, races into the front court. Tega dribbled it off his knee, but it went right to Carr. And Carr stripped. Fear stole it. Throw ahead more. Breakaway to the rim. Dunks it. 1-point game with 23 seconds left. Oweh again had it knocked loose. Got it back. Throw ahead deflected. Stolen by Taylor. They could take the lead. 16 seconds. Kobe in the corner. Out high to Fears with 13. No timeouts. They're going for the win. Down 1, they're going for the win. Fears drives, got deep, left hand, finishes, good! 5 seconds, good! Timeout, Kentucky! Inbound to Oweh. He's at half court with 3. Oweh to the baseline with 2. Layup is good. He did it again. 0.5, Kobe Elvis, 3-quarter court's no good. And Otega Oweh did it again. Otega Oweh hits a baseline left-handed shot with 0.5 to go, and Kentucky wins it 85-84. He ripped their hearts out again.
There you go, Parker Thune, a gut punch, but this one maybe doesn't hurt as much. It totally sucks. I get it, Sooner fans, no doubt. You had a great chance to win that game. Be playing Alabama tonight there in Nashville. But the good news is it probably doesn't hurt quite as much because, Parker, I still think they are maybe not 100% of the NCAA tournament, but I'm going about 97% in the tournament. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Steely, look, there's no question they're in the tournament. You know, as our man Dari said on the SEC Network's postgame show following last night's wondrous finish, and it was just a fantastic college basketball game. That's one that you suck. It sucks to be on the losing end of a game like that, but just an outstanding game to watch, especially in the last 2 minutes. But Dari Noka said after the game on the SEC Network's postgame coverage that that's a tournament team, and if there's a debate to be had in that regard, I don't want to hear it. And I think Oklahoma proved that last night, Steely. And going in, we kind of all had the understanding that the Sooners are safely in the 68-team field. It's just a matter of whether they're going to be in Dayton playing a first 4 game or whether they're in with a bye to the round of 64. That remains to be seen. But I would argue that circumstantially, that one is far more agonizing than the first time around because it's, for one thing, it's deja vu all over again, right? The same guy that dropped 25, or I guess it was 28 the first time around plus the game winner, is the same guy that drops 25 this time around plus the game winner. And oh, by the way, it happens to be the guy that transferred from your university this past offseason. Not to mention the fact that Oklahoma had just erased a double-digit deficit in the span of scarce more than 60 seconds, Steely. That was a gut punch of all gut punches, and I guess if there is one silver lining to be found, it is that it's only the conference tournament. This isn't the end of the line, and you will get a chance to come out next week in the NCAA tournament and play motivated basketball to wash that sour taste out of your mouth and make one last surge here, see how far you can go in the field.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying it wasn't painful. It certainly was painful, no doubt. But again, the fact that I think you know that the Sooners are going to be in the NCAA tournament. At least you have a little bit of solace there. And you're right. Look what Owe did last night. He had some horrible turnovers, but with the game on the line, he came through again last night. We'll debate here in a few minutes about how the Sooners attempted to cover or defend him or Kentucky, but I think they were basically knowing they were going to have to defend Otega Owe again on that last sequence, and we'll get into that here in a minute. Kentucky was up 12 with about 3 minutes left. They were up 11 with 1:44 left. Sooners took the lead on the Fears layup. Should have been an and one maybe with 6 seconds left, and then the rest is history on another incredible play by Owe. Let's hear from Porter Moser with some comments on his team's grit after the game.
Well, first of all, I want to just say how incredibly resilient our guys have been. And not just tonight, for weeks now. You know, these guys have fought through hard, fought through adversity. We constantly talk to our guys about that proverb, fall 7, rise 8. They keep falling and keep getting up. All right, we lost 2 heartbreakers to Kentucky and Ole Miss on a last-second shot. And how do we respond from that? We have 3 straight quad 1 wins. Come back today. We got down. I mean, the opening, there was a storm. The fan base, the atmosphere, how they started, that was a storm. How we handled that has been how our team has been all year, resilient. We went on a 19-6 run to end the game up until that last 2 points. That is resiliency. Never quit, never die, staying together.
All right, let's talk, Parker, about the last play that Owe made another incredible shot to beat his old team and send Kentucky into that matchup with Alabama tonight in Nashville. Let's first hear from Porter Moser on what the Sooners were trying to do defensively on that last sequence for Kentucky.
That last play, obviously emotional. We were going to be in a 1-2-2 trap. We were going to trap them. And you had the sideline and 2 players, and we let it get across around the side corner. And we knew where they were going. We were going to try to bottle them up and trap them, and the trap was ineffective. And once he gets going, once he turned the corner, you just knew. He just puts his head down, and it's hard to take a charge. It's hard to do anything. He's as fast and powerful in the country when he turns the corner. The problem was we were putting him in a box in a trap, and he turned the corner in a trap.
All right, that's Porter's version. Interesting clip here. I was looking at the Kentucky post game. I don't think I'm going to make you listen to Otega Owe. I'm scratching that from the rundown. But Mark Pope, the head coach of the Wildcats, let's play this clip. Sounds to me like he's defending basically the way the Sooners defended the final play. Here's what Mark Pope had to say.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. It's actually not an easy thing. We were actually playing at Oklahoma a few weeks ago, and it was the end of the first half, and we tried to do the same thing, and Jeremy Fears just raced all the way down the floor. When you got a full head of steam there, so it's hard to, and you're trying to be conscious about guarding legal. It's actually really hard to do, and so I thought it was a good call by them. Just really tough to execute when Otega made a play like that.
Yeah, I'll say this, Steely. We can nitpick the Sooners' defense all day. Could Kobe Elvis have done a better job of sealing off Owe's path to the basket? Absolutely. But you force the guy to take a really, really, really difficult shot that he just made. Like, at a certain point, you just kind of tip your cap to the guy because they made him go offhand with momentum carrying him on the wrong side of the backboard, 3 Sooners in his face, and he just goes up and over all of them with the left hand. And so could it have been defended better? Yeah, I guess so. But it's not like they defended it poorly. A really good player just made a really good play in a really huge moment.
Yeah, and he's done it twice, obviously. I think the one in Norman maybe a little bit more degree of difficulty, but it's not like that was an easy one he made, obviously, to win the game for the Wildcats last night. What I would have liked to have seen, me being the hoops expert here and a great, great Couch head coach, he caught that ball with a lot of steam already, basically at the Kentucky free throw line. But, man, he was running. Once he caught that ball, maybe somebody to face guard him, try and get the ball just where he can't even get to they can't even get it to him. Now they could set a screen or whatever, and he might have had the ball anyway. But he got such a head of steam, kind of like Mark Pope was talking about with Jeremiah Fears when he did that for the Sooners. But, again, just a tough loss for Oklahoma. But the good news is the Sooners are going to be in the NCAA tournament. Joe Lunardi had Oklahoma as a 10 seed, not even in the first 4 in category anymore. Jerry Palm had the Sooners as a 9 seed. So I don't think you need to unless something crazy happens. The Sooners should not be playing in Dayton. They should be in the field unless something crazy happens. And I don't know that there's any crazy enough scenario out there where that could happen. But the Sooners, give them credit again. I know that was tough, again, last night to see a kind of a replay of what happened at the Lloyd Noble Center a few weeks ago. But for Oklahoma to come through, like I said, I thought they were done at rest in peace, 6 feet under. No way they're going to the tournament after the LSU game. And they came back. Rose from the dead, and they will be in the NCAA tournament. Okay, this leads us into our question today for YouTube. We actually have a couple. One is going to be the open-ended question. In terms of gut punch losses, because the Sooner Hoops team took a ton, man. They took a ton this year, but they're still punching back. What would be the biggest gut punch loss for you as an Oklahoma fan ever? Now, you can just, you want to answer that on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. You can as well, 405-651-3439. Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, again, 405-651-3439. Find us on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, search KREF Sports. You'll find us live. Luckily, you won't have to see my live face today. It's a much better depiction of me about 5 years ago where I look like a normal human. But, Blake Gamble, you also have a poll question out there for everybody today as well. Fill them in on that if you would.
Yeah, Steelman, everyone going to be waiting for Selection Sunday. So the question today, if you were on the selection committee, what seed would you give the Sooners? The options, either an 8 or a 9 seed, that's one choice. The 10 seed being a last 4 bye. A 10 or 11 seed being a first 4 team in Dayton. Or the last choice, the first team out as usual.
There you go. All right, and again, we always welcome your thoughts, your opinions, your texts on our Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439. I'll give you my gut punch loss, and there are a lot of them. But as a Sooner fan, I think you kind of take them when you're younger, when you're a kid. I can remember crying after the 71 OU Nebraska game, like a little whiny, but I was only 7 years old. I nearly cried, though. 1978, Lincoln, Nebraska. I think Oklahoma, Barry Switzer and company had the best team in the country that day. They fumbled the ball 9 times, lost 6 of them. Jim Pillen, is he the governor of Nebraska now?
He is,
Jim
yes.
Pillen, isn't he?
Governor Pillen.
Jim Pillen. See what that did for Jim Pillen? If he doesn't recover that Billy Sims fumble, there's no way he's the governor of Nebraska right now. So, again, the Sooners should have won that game. I think they had the best team in the country. We've talked about it a lot. They got their revenge against Nebraska in the Orange Bowl. Nebraska was real happy to have a rematch with Oklahoma and Miami, but that one's probably number one for me. There are a lot of other ones to choose from, but certainly the Sooners have taken a lot of body blows, a lot of gut punches in basketball this season. So Jim Pillen Was he like newly elected, or has he been there for a while?
He was elected not too long. It might have been last year. Very recently. Very recently he was elected the governor.
There you go. I can remember Billy Sims trucking him on the way to the end zone in Miami. I think he remembered who recovered that fumble. So, and Billy didn't have all the fumbles, by the way. But I still believe that team should have won a national championship. But that day in Lincoln did them in. All right, we're here at Riverwind on a Friday. Always love being out here. We're getting ready for the weekend, man. This wind is crazy. It's going to die down after, I guess, tomorrow's not going to be the same. But things are interesting out there for sure. Be careful. Hopefully our fence stands up. We've got one section that doesn't have the steel posts in that I'm a little bit worried about, but we'll see. All right, let's take a break. Good to have you with us. Friday, we'll hit the text line coming up. We've got, of course, Sooner football to talk about as well. Keep it right here on the home of Sooner fans.
A true Sooner fan wouldn't be caught dead without the KREF app. Join the Army. Get the app. Tell your friends. This is The Ref, where diehard Sooner fans listen.
It's your lucky day every day here at Riverwind Casino.
With nearly 3,000 of your favorite games. Plus the best rewards program in the Metro.
Use your wild card to win big in our $80,000 Golden Clovers giveaway.
Party like a VIP in a private lounge at the Showplace Theater.
We've got the best of the best.
And we'll see you at Riverwind.
Oklahoma DRS helps job seekers with disabilities become taxpayers.
Their whole thing is to help people with disabilities go back to work.
They knew that I would be successful if I did not give up.
They have given me the power and confidence to face any challenge.
I'm just glad that, DRS was there. Empower yourself. Talk to DRS Vocational Rehabilitation
or Services for the Blind today.
OKDRS.gov. 800-487-4042.
It's time for your certified most accurate forecast from KOCO5 First Alert Weather. Brought to you by Cavens Group. Do you have a water emergency? Give Cavens a call at 405-573-3048.
From the First Alert Weather Center, this is meteorologist Jonathan Condor with your KOCO5 News weather forecast. Hold on, high winds are likely today. That means wind gusts 55 up to 65 miles an hour. They'll bring extreme fire danger across our area for today. Now, a high temperature this afternoon near about 70 degrees. The highest winds will come into the early afternoon, and those winds really won't drop off until later tonight. Tomorrow morning, low about 42, then mostly cloudy, high 58 for tomorrow.
That was your certified most accurate forecast from KOCO5 First Alert Weather, brought to you by Cavens. Did you have a water emergency that you fear might turn into mold? Give Cavens Group a call at 405-573-3048 or visit cavensgroup.com today.
For the professional, it's not enough to just possess knowledge. That's why at GMC, we seek to refine it, to wield its power, to redefine its boundaries, while pushing the limits. And we put this knowledge to the test in every GMC Sierra by engineering each one to outperform your expectations. So you know you're getting precision and durability when you need it most. And that's what makes the GMC Sierra the truck worth knowing. We are professional grade. See your Oklahoma GMC dealers.
Ever wonder why someone would wake up at the crack of dawn just for a chance at the unknown? Maybe a better question is, what are you waiting for? Pacifico is brewed for those who follow their own path. That's living life anchors up.
Imagine one step, and suddenly a fall turns into a fracture. For many, osteoporosis is a hidden threat, weakening bones silently until it's too late. At the Ortho Central Bone Health Clinic, we believe in personalized care to keep bones strong and resilient. Led by advanced practitioner Amanda Boyd, our team specializes in detection and personalized treatment plans, from bone density testing to strengthening bones after a fracture. Take charge of your bone health today. Call Ortho Central's Bone Health Clinic and let's build better bones together.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Hey, Sooner fans, we've got you covered. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
No, we don't get a break.
This is the home of Sooner fans.
The Red Sports Radio Network.
It is Friday. I am here at Riverwind Casino. Mike Steely, Parker Thune, Blake Gamble running YouTube today. Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, always available to you. 405-651-3439. That's 405-651-3439. Do not forget about our 68 team giveaway happening on Monday. Buffalo Wild Wings and more, over $20,000 in prizes. More than 30 instant hourly prizes as well, with many prizes given away per hour. You must be present to win a prize and have a chance to get a team. The grand prize, a trip to Texas for OU Texas weekend, sponsored by Fowler Automotive, including 2 nights at the Omni Hotel in Dallas. OU Texas game tickets, a Visa gift card to help cover your expenses. Other Final Four prizes. How about a new PS5 with a game gift card sponsored by Cavens Group? Also, an OU baseball package with tickets to Vandy, Ole Miss, and the Texas games, plus a Visa gift card, and a package right here from our friends at Riverwind Casino, including a great hotel stay. If you haven't seen the Riverwind Hotel, it is Hall of Fame awesome. Concert tickets also, and dinner here at Riverwind Casino. So be out there. Buffalo Wild Wings in more coming up on Monday. And the 68 team giveaway is going to be awesome. Parker Thune, do you want to hit the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line?
Let's do it. Krabby Sooner says, in these late game situations, it's hard to tell if it's bad X's and O's or if it's players not executing the game plan. But one thing you have to credit Moser with is keeping the team playing hard and not throwing in the towel.
100%. I just went Gary Cavens there, but 100%. That team, like I said, I think probably 98% of Sooner fans thought they were dead in the water. They weren't going to the NCAA tournament, and there was a chance that Porter Moser would not be coming back as head coach, but they hung in there. He kept them fighting. And you know who also, I think, is very responsible for saving Porter Moser's job? We talked about this, Parker Thune, and that is the youngster Jeremiah Fears.
Yeah, where's this team right now without Jeremiah Fears?
You know what? But you have to credit Porter for the way he went. He was committed to Illinois.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then he man, you talk about a sales pitch and a sales job to get him to come to Oklahoma. That really is that's keeping Porter employed, you know. And man, when he's on, and what I like about Fears, like last night he was 2 of 11, I believe it was, from 3. But with the game on the line, he's still fearless. He had only 1 turnover last night. You know, there are times where he still makes some freshman mistakes, but there are also a lot of times, Parker, where you're saying, yeah, I see why he's a lottery pick right there. That's a lottery pick play, right?
No doubt. And, man, it did take him a little while to get going last night, but once he did, man, there was no question whose hands you wanted the ball in down the stretch. That three-pointer that pulled Oklahoma to within 83-80 off a set play from Porter Moser, that was just a fantastic shot. I mean, that's not a true freshman shot. That's a seasoned veteran shot. That's the type of shot that a 4th or 5th-year senior knocks down. But to see Fears do some of the stuff he does at 18 years old, and also just the fire that he plays with, man, the competitiveness. And I think you saw that last night, especially once that final horn sounded, man. Jeremiah Fears took that loss as hard as anybody. And he had that look in his eyes that, you know, that type of look that would lead you to believe, okay, this dude, once the tournament gets rolling, he's going to be a man on a mission, because he certainly feels like he has something to prove, and this team has something to prove after losing in that fashion.
Yeah, no doubt. And guard play is always important in March. If you've got a great guard and he gets hot, that guard can carry you a long way. And the Sooners have won, and Jeremiah fears.
Jim in Arlington
Okay,
says.
what else?
Jim in Arlington says, Parker sounds like the great Al Eschbach eating on the air. Yeah, Steely did catch me mid-bite there. I'm throwing
Sorry
down
about that.
No, it's all good. I'm throwing down a leftover burger from the Brown Bag, who brought us lunch yesterday. I did not get the chance to eat lunch before we went on air, so.
Jim, I saw your tweets. I didn't want to embarrass myself, but I can tell you the story now how it went down last night at Shea Stadium. All right?
Do tell.
So we, we're starting to hear, oh, my gosh, this game is not going to tip till like 9:30 or so. What time did they end up tipping off? Was it close? Was it like 9:45 or
like
was it
10?
Close to that? Okay, so anyway, I'm ready. I've got YouTube TV ready to go. We're watching a show, and I'm waiting for the game to start. Game starts. Start watching the game. I'm into the game, and I think there's about 8 minutes left in the second half. And the Sooners are down. I think at that point it was like a 7-point spread or something. But I'm watching the game. Next thing you know, I wake up. I don't see Shea. I don't see our 4 dogs. They have been retired to the bedroom for a while. I look down at the iPhone. It's like 1:25 a.m. The YouTube TV is still on, and they're going over the game. Dari and company. I'm watching the highlights. I'm like, man, Oklahoma may have won this. I see Fears, and then I see Oweh, and it's like, there we go. There we go. So that's how I experienced the game is, like I said, about 8 minutes left before in the second half. That's the last live part of the game I remember. Then I woke up with nobody in the living room. Shea and the dogs already fast asleep. Me waking up to see them recapping the Oklahoma game. So that's the second time I think that's happened in like the last couple of weeks. So that's always fun. Because at first you wake up in a haze and you're like, man, I don't like about being asleep. What's up? And, then you look at the phone. OMG, you've got to be kidding me. Then your eyes, the haze comes out of your eyes and you look over at the TV. Oh, there are the highlights of the game. Wow. Pretty incredible. Oh, no. That was it. That's what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you're nearly 62 years old. Get ready. All right, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line.
580 Nate says, is Jalen Moore banged up still or just not as athletic as people said he was? He looks inept nearly every time he gets in the lane when being guarded one-on-one. I haven't really seen the crazy athleticism that's been advertised in SEC play. Just my opinion, though. I mean, he hasn't necessarily been dominant when driving the lane, but he's been effective. And I will say this. Jalen Moore has hit some big-time three-point shots for Oklahoma this season.
Yeah.
Had a couple of huge ones last night. He has become a really effective outside shooter. And that, Steely, that is what's going to enable Jalen Moore to warrant consideration as an NBA draft pick. It's the outside shooting ability at that size. The athleticism, certainly, that's a prerequisite. But the outside shooting at that size and given his physique and penchant for not only rebounding but being able to get down the lane and score down low, he's an NBA caliber basketball player at this point with the way his three-point shot has come along this season.
When we had him on with our friends at One Oklahoma, and by the way, great job by Reagan Beers this morning coming in for our friends at One Oklahoma. He talked about, that's the part of the game that he was really going to work on, try and be more consistent as a three-point shooter. I don't think he's back to 100%. He might be 80, 85%, good enough to play, but I don't think he's totally healthy right now. So, maybe the extra week, maybe this, the thing about it was such to see Oweh do it again was very painful, obviously, but this might be a blessing because you weren't going to beat Alabama tonight unless you had maybe your best game of the year and you get a little extra rest for the tournament because, once again, the Sooners are going to be in the NCAA tournament. Somebody was saying, what do you think of it if Oklahoma's a 10? How about a matchup with 7th-seeded Kansas? Count me in. Count me in for that. I think Jerry Palm had them as a 9, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe he had them matched up with UConn, and then the winner of that game playing Duke. Now, we'll see what's up with Cooper Flagg, obviously, with the ankle injury, but how about OU against Dan Hurley and UConn?
Yeah, give me all of that action. That's a
Bring it
matchup I would
on.
love to. And I do think Oklahoma could hold their own against UConn. I think they could win that basketball game. I Bleed Crimson says, how in the world do you not emphasize that Oweh is not to touch the ball? Deny him the ball. And, okay, it's easy to say that with the benefit of hindsight, right? Make anybody but Otega Oweh beat you. But if you sell out to stop Oweh and leave Kobe Brea, who had a really good night last night, wide open on the other side of the court to take a game-winning shot, then we're all sitting here asking, why on earth didn't you play balanced defense on that final possession? Why did you sell out to defend Oweh and leave the other guy who'd shot the ball well all night long wide open? So, look, anybody nitpicking at how the Sooners played that final possession defensively is not nitpicking if that shot rims out, right? I thought all things considered, it was not perfect defense by Oklahoma on that possession, but it was pretty good. And at the end of the day, you got beat by a great player who made a great shot, contested by over half the team. There were 3 Sooners up in his face on that final shot, and Otega Oweh just went and made it happen. Credit to him.
You know, the good news is, again, you're going to the tournament, and this team's playing some good basketball. They're playing some good basketball. They have a chance maybe to win a game. I mean, second game they would play if they win the first matchup they're in would be a lot tougher. They're going to play a really highly seeded team, maybe even a 1 seed, of course. But you've got a shot to go win a game in the tournament, and then you take your chances in the next round. So, you know, a lot better than thinking about, should we go to the NIT or not? What do you think? Is Porter going to be back? Because those questions have been answered, and nobody thought this team would be here at this point, particularly after the dagger loss to LSU and some of the others as well.
A hot take on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line from Drew England, who says, I'm sorry, but Jeremiah Fears is not a lottery pick. He is a really good player with a lot of upside. Everyone wants to talk about him and his ability to score, but look at all the bonehead turnovers that he makes. Also, he's not a very good defender. And please stop saying that he's young and a freshman and that he just turned 18. There's another guy playing at an elite level who's the same age. His name is Cooper Flagg. Okay, you're correct, Drew, but Cooper Flagg is more than likely going to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. I mean, it's been trending that way for quite some time now. So is Jeremiah Fears the best freshman in college basketball? No, that's probably Cooper Flagg. But Jeremiah Fears is absolutely a lottery pick because when you combine his skills with his size, his leadership on the court, and also just the ice water in his veins that he demonstrated down the stretch. You mentioned the propensity for turnovers. He turned the ball over 5 times in the first half last night. 0 turnovers in the second half. Or was that the night before? I guess I forget what statistic I'm citing. But needless to say, if you watched the game last night, right, you saw down the stretch that Jeremiah Fears just kicked it into another gear. When the Sooners had to have it, he went and got it. And on Oklahoma's final offensive possession, the ball was in his hands. He took it to the rack. He got the bucket. And that's the type of player he is, right? When it comes time to make a play, he's a guy that maybe he's not always going to make it because nobody will always make the play every single time. But he's certainly the guy whose hands you want the ball in that circumstance. He was last night. The Sooners got him the ball. He made a play, and ultimately he got done one better by a really good player in his own right in Otega Oweh.
He will be a lottery pick. He will be a lottery pick. I mean, look, all of those sites, you know, there are some that are better than others, but believe me, the credible ones, they're talking to NBA people, all right? They're talking to NBA people. Mm-hmm. They're not just saying, well, let's just throw Jeremiah Fears out there. They are drafting also on potential. They see this kid. They know he's even, you know, right now should be a senior in high school. And they see the handles. They see how he can get to the basket. Yeah, the turn, but they think, you know what? He's only going to get better. He's just scratching the surface. He will be a lottery pick. Again, they draft these kids not on how they are right now. They look at what they could be in 3 or 4 years in the NBA. And Jeremiah Fears has a chance to be a really good NBA player. He really does. Now, is he going to be Blake Griffin or Trae Young or Wayman Tisdale or some of the other Sooner greats who went on to the NBA? Maybe not. But again, he's, like I said, he should be a senior in high school. He came reclassified, and he's got the skill set, the toolbox to play in the NBA. And I would be shocked if he went outside the lottery. There you go.
Gunny of Stutzman Army with one more text to take us into break. And it's the text you all expected Gunny of Stutzman Army to send. Otega Owe is a hoe.
I kind of figured that would be the direction that Gunny would be going today. So there you go. All right, we're here at Riverwind on a Friday. When we get back, Dumbass Clip of the Week. We also we'll check in with Blake Gamble, say what Sooner fans are saying on YouTube today in the chat. Biggest gut punch loss for the Sooners. You want to let us know what yours was, whether it's a football, basketball game. Maybe it's Spike was safe in the College World Series. Let us know. We want to hear from you. Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line 405-651-3439. And on YouTube, just search KREF Sports. Coming right back here on the home of Sooner fans.
Hey, this is Michael Vasucci. You listen to The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
Want a chance to win big with your bracket this March? The Refs Bracket Challenge is back in 2025, and we are once again the home of winning big amidst the madness this March.
Why don't you explain this to me like I'm 5?
Just visit kref.com/bracket and click the link to join the Refs Bracket Challenge to see if you have what it takes to best our hosts and the rest of the Ref Army for a chance at March glory.
Do it! Just do it!
The Refs 2025 Bracket Challenge is brought to you by Louie's Grill and Bar. Louie's Grill and Bar is the perfect spot to watch your bracket look brilliant or get busted this March. Visit louisgrillandbar.com for a location near you. Make the right call. Join the Refs Bracket Challenge by March 20th before games tip off, and you'll have a chance to win big, courtesy of Louie's Grill and Bar, the home of Sooner fans and the home for the best giveaways this March.
Hi, this is Monty Markham at Markham's Nursery. It's that time of year to get outside and spend some time in the yard, planting your favorite trees, shrubs, and flowers, and we've got a huge selection of them at Markham's. This Saturday and Sunday only, March the 15th and 16th, is our annual Spring Open House at all Markham's locations. Come by and stock up on seeds, bulbs, pottery, fertilizers, yard ornaments, and much more. We hope to see you this Saturday.
Markham's Nursery, just had the sun.
Hey Sooner fans, this is Addison Feta from the 6-time National Championship OU Gymnastics team. My first year has been so incredible. Competing in the Crimson and Cream is everything I ever dreamed it would be. As we go into postseason, don't forget to become a member of Team 10 to support OU's women's gymnastics, and we would love to see you at the postseason meets. When you become a Team 10 member, you will receive unique experiences and special access to the team. Thanks to Team 10 for making this an amazing first year. Go to Soonersports.com to become a Team 10 member today.
Hi, this is Lisa Talley, broker and owner of Aria Real Estate Group. Aria Real Estate Group is Norman's premier full-service commercial and residential real estate brokerage and leasing and management firm. With our team of real estate agents, specialized property managers, and in-house maintenance team, Aria is here for you in every capacity. Whether you're a seller, a buyer, an investor, or a renter, we can help. Please explore our website at ariagroupok.com. Aria Real Estate Group, the gold standard of real estate.
It's winter in Oklahoma, and whether it's 60 degrees or below freezing outside, Oklahoma Electric Cooperative and OEC Fiber are committed to keeping the electricity and internet flowing. We encourage you to visit oecfiber.com/winter for everything from tips on safeguarding your home against the freeze to preparing for a possible power outage. We understand the importance of keeping you informed and empowered during the coldest months. Stay prepared, stay warm, and stay connected from OEC and OEC Fiber.
Now open in Yukon, Oklahoma, 5-Iron Golf is the perfect spot for golfers of all skill levels. Practice like a pro with TrackMan technology or play iconic courses without leaving town. After your round, enjoy chef-driven dishes, handcrafted cocktails, and a buzzing bar atmosphere. Whether you're hosting a party or improving your game, 5-Iron Golf is here to redefine how Oklahoma plays golf indoors. Visit 5irongolf.com to book your experience today.
Wounded Warrior Project helps post 9/11 veterans and their families realize what's possible. With support and resources that bring warriors together and empower them to become stronger, both inside and out.
It's possible to begin healing.
To get the help you need.
To find peace.
And as each warrior's needs evolve, so do we. Because these last 20 years are just the beginning. Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/possible.
We are back here at Riverwind on a Friday. I hope everybody's having a great Friday so far. It's a busy sports weekend as usual. Sooner basketball will not be playing Alabama tonight, thanks to frickin' Ortega away again, but they will be headed to the NCAA tournament. Jenny Baranchek and the OU women will be hosting the first two rounds at the LNC. We'll wait and see what the brackets look like coming up. And once again, we've got softball and baseball tonight. Patty and the undefeated Sooner softball team take their 23-0 record to Fayetteville. 6 o'clock, first pitch tonight for the Sooners and the Razorbacks. Patty against her son, DJ Gasso, who's on the coaching staff at Arkansas. Skip and the Sooner baseball team at 15-1 on the year, headed to South Carolina for a game tonight beginning at 6 p.m., 5:30 pregame on the Ref. The Thunder don't play again until tomorrow night, 6 p.m. in Detroit. Then they have to turn around and play Milwaukee in an ESPN game at Milwaukee Sunday night at 8 p.m. Milwaukee handled Oklahoma City pretty easily in the NBA Cup final. But, again, Sooner softball and baseball happening tonight. Here's an interesting question off the Twitter machine from Ryan. Steely, there are a bunch of crazy people in the government these days. Any chance you might take the director of national broadcasting job? I don't think they want me in that position because I think they're fine right now with the shysters, the heisters, the hucksters, and the snake oil salesmen. I'm against those people. So I do not think I would be a candidate there. But thank you, Ryan. Thank you very much. I don't know if that's like a compliment or if that's like, you're crazy too. Why don't you take a job?
Director of National Broadcasting. Where do I apply for that job?
I don't know. Is there a director of national broadcasting? Because they gave me that job. This is no way this one would. But shut down all social media. Just end it. Boom. One fell swoop. And then we'd get rid of all the attention-seeking clowns. It would be great. Did I see something on Twitter that Teddy was talking about TikTok dances or something? I didn't get a chance to play the audio, but I would imagine he's probably thinking, what is that all about, like me? Can you imagine spending your entire freaking day watching TikTok videos and what that does to your mind? Your mind turns to mush eventually.
Did you read Rich Rodriguez's comments on TikTok dances the other day?
I saw something about it, but I didn't click on the story. Did he say his players can't do it or something?
He said
or
his
what's
players can't record videos. They can't shoot videos involving TikTok dances. He said they can use TikTok as long as they're not making dancing videos. Quote,
good for Rich Rod.
They're going to be on it, so I'm not banning them from it. I'm just banning them from dancing on it. It's like, look, we try to have a hard edge or whatever, and you're in there in your tights dancing on TikTok. That ain't quite the image of our program that I want. 20 years from now, if they want to be sitting in their pajamas in the basement eating Cheetos and watching TikTok or whatever the hell, they can go at it. Smoking cannabis, whatever. Knock yourself out. I hope our focus can be on winning football games. How about let's win the football game and not worry about winning the TikTok? End quote.
There you go, Rich Rod. You are the man. Long distance fist bump all the way to Morgantown, West Virginia. Amen. Some of the TikToks you see, I'm like, really? You guys? Okay, whatever. like I said, nobody believes me, only the smart people. But this is the stuff that is just a total waste of time, and you're giving your attention to already an attention-seeking clown who has time in his or her schedule to worry about doing TikTok dances. Like I said, once they turn this BS into currency, everybody get excited. Everybody, not everybody, but 90% of these idiots went out there, I can make a little money, I'll become rich. And influencer is also a horrible word. Because if you're being influenced by a lot of these people, you're an absolute 1,000% total freaking idiot. Influencer. I mean, you are a complete and utter moron if you're letting these people, I'm talking about the TikTok dancers and people like that, influence you and how you think. You are a brain-dead freaking idiot. I mean, this place is going up in flames, and you people don't even realize it because, you know, these people are the worst. The absolute worst.
Gunny said,
Rich Rodriguez, I agree with Rich Rod. Rich Rod, yes. Play some football. Don't worry about how can we get a TikTok together to do. We need some likes.
Gunny said, I like how Rich Rod said it's okay to smoke the weed.
He said later down the road, Gunny, later down the road. I mean, the problem is why I get so angry about this. This stuff's not going to change. You know why? Because losers always need their attention 24/7. They didn't get it in the crib from mommy or whatever, so they want to get all their likes and all that BS. And these people, like I said, they'll never be shamed. They have no shame. They're going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. It's not going to stop. The genie's so far out of the bottle. And like I said, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, they're saddling up right now because of you. Got the dumbass clip of the week ready. I didn't have a good, solid dumbass clip this week, so we have to go.
How? There was so much stupidity that happened this week.
But what did I miss? Which one did I miss? Usually I have one and I have it saved. I'm like, I don't think I have one. Maybe I missed one somehow. It was a busy week, so I'm going back to an old classic, and this was the one with Jim Schlossnagle. Remember when he was so bent out of shape when he was asked if he was going to continue to be the Texas A&M baseball coach, and then he ended up at Texas like 3 days later. So let's run this dumbass clip of the week classic real quick.
You're a stupid dumbass.
I think it's pretty selfish of you to ask me that question, to be honest with you. But I left my family to be the coach at Texas A&M. I took the job at Texas A&M to never take another job again. That's unfair to talk about something like that. That'd be like you asking Montgomery if he's going to sign in the draft.
They're laughing at you on the street.
I don't have to say a lot more about the way I feel about Jim Schlossnagle. No respect, no honor.
Whoa! Shut up, dumbass. What a bunch of dumbasses. Yeah, really.
There you go. It was a couple days after that he was at the press conference at the University of Texas. You like the way I worked Dusty Rhodes in there?
I do, and I love the way you incorporated the 8-bit Texas fight music. That's a classic.
You always like the 8-bit Texas fight
song.
song.
It's hilarious. It's comical.
Oh, man.
Krabby Sooner said, "Cook, Steely."
You just can't say cook. Say, I don't know. What's another word for cook? Because everybody uses cook these days, so I refuse to use cook.
A 405 listener has a different version. He just says, "Preach it, Steely."
Thank you. Well, like I said, it's not going to change. It's not going to change. Once these people started getting a little bit of attention and started fooling other people and making a little bit of money off of it, they continue to be, again, the shysters, heisters, hucksters, and snake oil salesmen, and they'll continue to be that way until somebody gets that job as International Director of Broadcast Operations and Social Media and shuts that baby down.
A listener in Arkansas says, Steely, they started calling them selfies because narcissistes was too hard to spell.
That's true. Can you imagine back in the day taking like a Polaroid camera and aiming it at yourself? I need a picture of myself. Cha-ching. You know.
Big Rick and Owasso.
What we've made normal is very frightening.
Big Rick and Owasso says, saute him, Steely.
See, the olds are on my side, ladies and gentlemen. I own the 55 to 74 demographic, and they all agree with me. You know why? Because we were tougher, and we didn't need constant attention. I mean, everybody needs a little bit, but we didn't need it constantly. Gotta get my content and likes up today. Ooh.
A listener here in the 405 says, we had to fire an employee because she couldn't stop watching TikTok all day at work. And by the way, if no one has commented yet, this wind is a hoe.
I agree. I agree with that. Hey, let's check in with Blake real quick. Poll question out on the YouTube chat today, and we're also asking you because OU basketball has taken a bunch of gut punches this year, but what is the most gut-punching loss for you as a Sooner fan in any sport? What do we have, Blake? How we doing?
Yeah, here's a response to that question. Most devastating loss in OU history for you personally. Robert chimes in, Boise State or the...
That was a tough one.
Yeah, that one I know for a lot of people, especially the way it ended. Or the 31-6 loss to Arkansas with a chance to win the national title. Steely, what bowl game was that one? Was that an Orange Bowl?
That was in the Orange Bowl. That was the Sooners didn't take that game very seriously. I think they partied too much in Miami. That was Lou Holtz and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Ron Calcagni at quarterback. Freshman running back Roland Sales set an Orange Bowl record. I don't know if it still stands or not, but I think he had like 205 yards. And they just they just dominated the football game. So, yeah, that was a tough one. That was a really tough one.
And then our
I'm going to go back to
question...
the 88 Kansas game in Kemper. I still to this day believe 100% Oklahoma had the best basketball team in America. But unfortunately, on that night at Kemper Arena in Kansas City, Danny and the Miracles pulled it off.
Personally, for me, the most devastating one, I was at the Sugar Bowl that Jason White was fighting through an injury. He was not mobile, and Steelman, I'm sure you took a lot of calls for months and months about why didn't they put Paul Thompson in the game?
We got so many of those, I guess Jason had a really bad toe. Wasn't that what it was? But they were still so close, and that was a tough – why is it, again, every time – not every time, but so many times OU has to play LSU in New Orleans. LSU hadn't won a championship since, like 1950 or whatever it was, and there it was set up for Nick Saban and LSU that night. And the pass to Kewan Jones that was just barely overthrown. It was a rough night.
Yep, so pop on over
Sooners
to YouTube.
Had a great shot to win it.
Pop on over to our YouTube, type in KREF Sports, and comment in the chat what your most devastating OU loss was of all time. Go ahead and answer our poll question, too, which is, if you were on the selection committee, what seed would you give to OU? The runaway winner as of now is a 10 seed and getting one of the last 4 byes.
7-10 matchup. That would be interesting. It would be pretty interesting.
Yesterday on Locked In, we discussed some of the possible 7-10 matchups that Oklahoma would face. And suffice it to say, Steely, I think Oklahoma, if they wind up a 10 seed, they can get to the Sweet 16. There's a world in which they can knock off a 7 and then a 2. I believe that's feasible. Not saying it's likely, but I think it's certainly within the realm of possibility.
Well, when you play in the toughest conference in the country, you should be well prepared, and hopefully Jalen Moore. He doesn't look like he's like 100% right now, maybe 80, 85%. Some rest for him will be good. But when you've got a kid like Fears, and look, he's probably going to have some turnovers and some things that frustrate you, but he also has a chance to win some games for you in the tournament. No doubt about it. All right, let's get a couple more in, and we'll get out of here.
Paleo and Moore says, okay, after a season of OU football and a season of OU basketball, I'm ready to say it out loud. Going to the SEC was completely worth giving up Bedlam.
Hey, Leo. How you doing? Thank you. Thank you very much for your text today. We'll jump into some more of that conversation coming up. That wraps hour number 1 from here at Riverwind. Get on out here tonight. Take part in the 80K Golden Clovers giveaway. Have a great meal at the River Buffet or Chips and Ales Pub Restaurant or the food court. Always something happening here at Riverwind. Hour 2 on the way next.
Sound off any time of day on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439. Right here on the home of Sooner fans, the Ref Sports Radio Network.
What's up, Ref Army? It's Dusty Dvorak, and I'm back. I'm excited to be back with the Ref and cannot wait to help bring the home of Sooner fans the best Sooner coverage. Catch me every Tuesday and Wednesday during the 10 a.m. hour of The Plank Show as I cut it up with Plank and Josh about everything in the world of Sooner and college football. That's every Tuesday and Wednesday on The Plank Show, and there's only one place to hear it. The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Download the KRF app today to listen from anywhere.
Speaking of technology, did you know that RK Black is an authorized dealer for Kyocera copiers? And the Kyocera copiers aren't just copiers. They're smart devices that can scan, print, fax, and email your documents with ease and security. Even better, they're backed by RK Black's award-winning service team that is built on nearly 70 years of taking great care of our clients. Whether you need a desktop printer or a multifunction copier, RK Black has the right product for you. Let's get the conversation started. Give us a call at 943-9800 or visit us at rkblack.com.
What are you waiting for? If you're anything like me, that question keeps you up at night. So don't wait for someone else's green light. Do the things you love right now at Moore Norman Tech. We'll get you out of the classroom and into the real world with hands-on experience and whatever feeds your fire. So get after it. Oklahoma needs more doers, and doers don't wait. Moore Norman Tech, powered by Oklahoma Career Tech.
For 3 generations, the John M. Ireland and Son Funeral Home and Chapel in Morris continued to serve the community by giving back to local schools, charitable organizations, and first responders.
We provide pre-planning for funerals and cremation services at the most reasonable prices.
We are proud to be a family-owned and operated funeral home.
Award-winning funeral home year after year, our family believes in serving the people of our community.
I'm John Ireland.
And I'm Solon Daniels.
You've got our word on it.
Tired of feeling pressured by salespeople when shopping for auto insurance? At Right Way Insurance, there's no hard sell, just a clear, straightforward approach. We work with multiple insurance companies to give you the best options and rates with no gimmicks. You'll get the right coverage tailored to your needs, all while avoiding hidden fees and confusing policies. So if you're ready for a better experience with auto insurance, visit rightwayinsuranceok.com or call 405-607-6014 for your free quote today. Right Way Insurance, no pressure, just the right insurance for you.
From the gridiron to the hardwood to the diamond, no one covers the Sooners like we do. If it's Sooner Sports, we have you covered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. This is the home of Sooner fans.
The deals are madness this March across Espridge Honda's full inventory. Shop 2 great deals on Honda's most popular 2025 SUVs. Pay just $249 a month for an HR-V LX front-wheel drive or $289 per month for a CR-V EX front-wheel drive. And for every vehicle purchased in March, we'll donate $100 to Toby Keith's OK Kids Corral. That's 89th and I-35 or online at EsbridgeHonda.com.
HR-V front-wheel drive, $2.99 for 36 months. CR-V front-wheel drive, $1.99 for 36 months. 3-year, 10,000-mile lease, $500 down plus TTNL and first month's payment through AHF ends 4/125.
Hi, this is Monty Markham at Markham's Nursery. It's that time of year to get outside and spend some time in the yard, planting your favorite trees, shrubs, and flowers, and we've got a huge selection of them at Markham's. This Saturday and Sunday only, March the 15th and 16th, is our annual spring open house at all Markham's locations. Come by and stock up on seeds, bulbs, pottery, fertilizers, yard ornaments, and much more. We hope to see you this Saturday.
Markham's Nursery, just add the sun.
Ever wonder why someone would go to the ends of the earth and leap into the unknown? Maybe a better question is, what are you waiting for? Pacifico is brewed for those who follow their own path. That's living life anchors up.
You're listening to the home of Sooner fans, KREF, Norman, Oklahoma, and streaming live on the KREF app. The Ref Sports Radio Network.
Riverwind on a Friday. Going to talk Sooner football here in a minute. Riverwind Casino, ladies and gentlemen, will be playing host at the Showplace Theater to the iconic multi-platinum selling group America. They're celebrating their 55th anniversary tour with a series of dates in 2025. It arrives here in Norman at the Showplace Theater on a Thursday night, April 26th. Timeless hits, powerful performances from America, Grammy Award winners, and, man, what a staple in the 70s. On into the 80s, they'll draw from their deep catalog of hits, including A Horse with No Name, which was a number one hit in 1972. Personally, I like Ventura Highway myself, but tickets are available at the Showplace Theater box office or online at riverwind.com. America will be here at Riverwind Casino and the Showplace Theater Thursday, April 26th. Another great deal we don't talk about enough is the breakfast buffet at the River Buffet. We talk a lot about steak night, which is tonight, seafood night on Saturday. Join us on Saturday mornings, tomorrow morning, right here at Riverwind from 8 to 11 a.m., where you can enjoy your favorite breakfast items at the River Buffet for only $14.99. Make sure you check out their made-to-order omelets, custom pancake station to start your Saturdays off just right here at Riverwind Casino. That sounds awesome, doesn't it, Parker? Made-to-order omelets and custom pancakes.
You're never going to talk me out of an omelet, Steely. Never.
Oh, man. I don't know. If you had a choice and they said, all right, for the rest of your life, you can only have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, what would you choose?
Yeah, breakfast.
I mean, with the typical – what's that?
Breakfast.
Yeah, me too. I bet most of the audience would pick breakfast. Give me all the breakfast items. All of them. Not some of them, all of them. Okay. By the way, we were talking about, where the Sooners are being projected seed-wise now. Jerry Palm this morning had Oklahoma at a 9 seed, and he had them bracketed with UConn in the East Regional. UConn seeded 8th, obviously. It's an 8-9 matchup, and the winner would play number 1 seeded Duke. Meanwhile, Jerry Palm, or Joe Lenardi, Bracketology ESPN, had the Sooners seeded number 10 playing St. Mary's, the Gales of St. Mary's, and the Sooners in Wichita, Kansas, in a 7-10 matchup. And the 2-15 was Texas Tech against Montana. So there you go. How about that? The Grizzlies of Montana. All right, 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. That is 405-651-3439. Okay, let's talk a little football. Everybody has been raving about John Mateer in the OU locker room at practice. He has taken over the locker room. I know some of you think, here we go with the spring sunshine pumping. But the reports have been that Mateer came in there, immediately won over the locker room. You've seen some of the highlights. You saw the one yesterday. Giovanni Gibson and John Mateer have had some highlight videos that have been out there. You've seen him celebrating, running down the field on that first highlight to Giovanni Gibson, which looked basically like Baker Mayfield 2.0. And when Bob Stoops was on The Rush the other day, he said this about John Mateer and Baker. Here we go.
To me, he reminds me a good bit of, I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but he looks like Baker. The way he's built, his attitude, the way he goes at it. And there's a lot of similarities there, so hopefully it pans out that way. It won't be easy, so I don't want to say that he's that, but he reminds me of him. It's a good person to be compared to.
There you go. Parker, is this dangerous territory we're wading into here? Because you're starting to hear a lot of that comparison.
Yeah, and look, I don't think it's dangerous territory because, again, I think the disclaimer that basically everyone's adding is we're not saying he's going to play like Baker. He just looks like Baker. And as long as you have the capacity to comprehend that distinction, then I don't think you're going to be upset this fall if John Mateer doesn't have 50 total touchdowns and wind up in New York City for the Heisman Trophy ceremony. I don't think that's what he needs to do. I don't think that is necessary for Oklahoma to win enough football games to be in the college football playoff conversation in 2025. So you hear all the Baker comparisons, and they're natural because their play styles and their demeanors, they are similar, right? But as long as you understand that saying John Mateer looks like Baker Mayfield doesn't mean he's going to play like Baker Mayfield, I don't think we're in dangerous territory with any of these comps.
Yeah, and keep in mind, look, Baker, I love Baker. If I had to list probably my favorite OU player right now, well, Joe Washington, number one, but Baker's right up there. He's in the top 5, might have him number 2. But somebody to choose from. But Baker, clearly the leader in that locker room, great player. His personality rubbed off on that locker room, and they not only did they win a lot of games, but they had a lot of fun doing it. Baker's celebrations, how many times did we see him sprinting 75 yards down the field or something after a long touchdown pass, hopping and skipping his way there? It was great. It was great. But keep in mind, when John Mateer is under center or not under center this fall, he is also going up against the most difficult schedule in Sooner history, right there with last year's, against better competition. Baker, I'm not taking anything away from Baker. You play who's on your schedule, but he was going up against competition in the Tiny 12, which is not nearly, the heavyweight division that the SEC is. Now, maybe Oklahoma punches with the biggest heavyweights in the conference this year if Mateer is the real deal. But, it's difficult to compare because I like what I've seen skill set wise and personality wise out of John Mateer. Again, we haven't seen him in a real game yet, in a Sooner uniform, and you won't because he's not playing a spring game, and that's kind of an exhibition anyway. But the level of competition, I think that's the one question again, Parker, is he was awesome last year against the Washington State schedule, which is a major step down from what he'll be facing this year in the SEC.
Yeah, and it's not at all clear how he's going to react to that, how immediately he's going to be 100% comfortable operating in Oklahoma's system and against that level of competition. It could be right away, right? Or it could take John Mateer a little while to get used to the physical demands of playing in the SEC. You're going to take harder hits. You're going to face more pressure. And ultimately, you're going to have smaller margins for error because defenders are going to be able to make you pay for mistakes much more so than guys that play at Oregon State and Idaho State and Portland State and Wyoming, right? That's just reality. And so that's why I'm trying not to drive the expectations too dang high for John Mateer because I do think it's reasonable to expect that there's going to be a little bit of an experiential learning curve once he gets into SEC play. I think non-conference will help with that, certainly. But even so, man, that very first SEC game, which just so happens to be against Jackson Arnold and Auburn, that, I think, is where we're really going to get a sense of, okay, who is John Mateer? What can we expect of John Mateer as the starting quarterback at the University of Oklahoma? Because it will be his baptism by fire. If you'll recall Jackson Arnold's baptism by fire, his very first SEC game this past fall against Tennessee, it did not go very well. And at that point, we all realized, this might be a long season ahead.
Yeah, no doubt. And there were even some moments that were scary before Tennessee, right? Like that Tulane game. One of the worst pick sixes of all time.
Ugh.
But he came back, and he won that game with his legs. I hope Jackson plays well for Auburn this year. Obviously not Norman, but we'll see. That will be an interesting matchup. All right, also, courtesy of our friends at One Oklahoma, you guys, if you can contribute, they're doing great things over there. OneOklahoma.com. That is the number OneOklahoma.com. If you can contribute, you'll get some great content. And they're doing a fantastic job over there. And they brought in Michael Fasusi earlier this week. He was in the Buffalo Wild Wings studios with us on Monday. And we asked Michael Fasusi to give us his thoughts so far on John Mateer. Here's what he had to say.
John Mateer, man, I'm gonna start with the locker room, man. He's a really chill guy. I say to his face again and again, "Hey, dude, you're swaggy." I'm gonna say to his face, and he just laughs about it, man. Hey, he's a really chill guy when it comes to our locker room. Brings the brotherhood. You feel me? Despite him being a transfer guy, he knows what it brings to the locker room, man. He's not shy about it, Then when it comes to the field, it brings the authority, it brings the leadership, it brings knowledge that I believe a quarterback has, and again, brings everything to the table, what you want out of a guy, what you want out of a guy and a quarterback.
There you go. Michael Fasusi on with us earlier this week. All right, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Before we wrap this segment, we'll get to Blake and what's happening over on YouTube. Also want to remind you that Hightower Clinical is our second hour sponsor here on Steelman and Thune. Great clinical trial opportunities in the state of Oklahoma. No cost or insurance needed to participate. Meds provided for free. Patients, you can be compensated for your time as well. That's a heck of a deal. Located all around the metro area in Oklahoma City. Soon to expand into other areas of the state. HightowerClinical.com. If you need more information on these clinical trial opportunities, HightowerClinical.com, or you can call or text them at this number, 405-831-5905. All right, so I hop in the vehicle, headed home yesterday, and I've got you guys on, and I hear Grayson saying, Steely leaves every day in a Bob Stoops voice. Is that accurate?
That is accurate, Steely.
It is.
Every
okay,
single day.
Everybody have a great day.
Yep.
That's all I pretty much say, right?
Pretty much.
Make sure there's great execution. And my Bob Stoops is not even really that good, but you guys at least know it's Bob Stoops. So, anyway, I didn't realize I did it every day. You want me to keep doing it every day or back off a little bit?
Well, I'm curious how unconscious it truly is now. Now, will you think about it when you're leaving the studio?
Dude, I'm unconscious every day of my life pretty much right now. So, I mean, I knew I did it occasionally, but not every single day. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right, 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Let's get there.
Kyle from Salisaw says, I really want to see Mateer pop off and get drafted so we can see Mike Hawk in 2026.
Well, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. If he does, if Oklahoma wins 8 or more games and he plays well, you would think he's got a shot, I don't think that John Mateer, at least the way we're looking at it right now, is going to be like a first-round pick. But if he plays great in the SEC, he could certainly upgrade his draft status. We'll see.
Kevin from the 469 says, Steely, isn't it crazy how for olds like us, no one will ever supplant Joe Washington as our all-time favorite Sooner?
Dude, to me, Joe Washington was just the coolest, man. He was a great player. I believe if the Sooners had been on television, they were, probation kept them from one of those years. I can't remember. I think it was 74. But Archie Griffin probably wouldn't have back-to-back Heismans. But he did, of course. But Joe, just his style, man, the silver shoes, the face mask, the mouthpiece, everything about Joe Washington was cool. And he's still pretty darn cool to this day. So, yeah, that's why I always wore number 24. Well, they made me change it in high school to 40. But I would always pick number 24 because of Joe Washington.
Reformed Homer says, before we start getting quarterbacks in the NFL, let's focus on putting together some steady offensive drives.
Yeah, I would agree with that. What did you think the video yesterday? They were having some fun, right? Was that Giovanni Gibson again? True, right?
It was,
Did he do
man.
the backflip? Yeah.
Yeah, the OU football social folks would really like you to know that John Mateer and Giovanni Gibson have an excellent connection on the practice field.
Yeah, we've seen a couple, but I'm also thinking, don't backflip, that's it. Oh, okay, pulled it off. You know, I think Sooner fans are so worried about injuries after what happened last year, but it was great execution. Sorry.
The Waffler
right,
on the text line says, I despise Ortega, but if I ever see Brandon Garrison in public, I promise I will fight him.
I think Brandon Garrison has been the real D-bag in this situation. Oweh's just made some great plays.
Yeah, Oweh hasn't handled himself in a classless fashion. Brandon Garrison has been the one chirping. Brandon Garrison has been the one getting up in the faces of some of OU's guys. All Otega Oweh has done is just make back-breaking, heart-breaking, soul-crushing shots.
Yeah, that's right. By the way, if OU basketball, based on what we think we understand, had more NIL money, they could have had Otega Oweh and Brandon Garrison on this roster, right?
They could have.
Keeping both.
They could have, but at that point you have to wonder if Jeremiah Fears ever comes to town.
That's true.
All of the losses, not only the guys that transferred out, but the guys you didn't get in the transfer portal, i.e. Sean Padula, for instance. Like if Sean Padula comes to Oklahoma, Jeremiah Fears is never showing up. And
true.
So what happened in the portal for Oklahoma was unfortunate, certainly, and you would have liked to get a little bit better haul overall than you did, but it all led up to the acquisition of Jeremiah Fears and Oklahoma's ability to tell Fears, hey, if you come here, you can start and you can be the star of the show. That's what enabled them to win that recruiting battle.
Hey, yeah, I think the Padula Oblongata, he's had some big shots, no doubt about it. And you're right, though. I don't think if they had gotten Padula that Fears would be there. So, we'll see. What's going to be interesting, I mean, Porter's coming back, right? Porter's got to be coming back, and they're losing a lot of guys.
Porter's taking the Iowa job.
Well, I mean, look, that would be the one way that he wouldn't be back now, right, is if he takes another job. Maybe he thinks, man, there's NIL challenges here. The arena sucks. Fans are all over me sometimes. Maybe he would take another one. DePaul was the rumor last year, and he didn't go to DePaul. DePaul's not the job it used to be, certainly, but that will be interesting to see, how are his prospects, in the coaching market. I mean, we'll see. All right, let's take a break. We got our man Brandon Drum coming up next, Riverwind Casino Hotline. And Brandon will join us. Talk what else? Mainly Sooner football. We'll throw some Sooner hoops in as well. Keep it here on the Ref.
Through the dead of winter, to the dawn of spring, through the dog days of summer, and the kickoff of fall, no one covers Sooner football like we do. The Ref is SEC ready. Are you?
Oklahoma baseball single game tickets are on sale now. Don't miss a packed 31-game home schedule this spring at L. Dale Mitchell Park. Seats start at just $10 per game, with exciting promotions like $2 Tuesdays, Firework Fridays, and Sunday Fun Day for Conference Series. Guaranteed fun for the whole family. Check out the game schedule and more information at Soonersports.com. Join us at the ballpark and Boomer Sooner.
Attention construction pros. Purple Wave Auction brings quality equipment to your fingertips. Join our bi-weekly online auctions featuring dozers, excavators, loaders, and more. We provide detailed listings, photos, and seller contact info. Inspect online or in person. With our no reserve policy, every item sells to the highest bidder. Visit purplewave.com today and see why informed builders choose Purple Wave. Transparent processes, real deals, your next great purchase awaits. purplewave.com.
Mike Steely here for Lasher Home Comfort Systems, your trusted home comfort experts in the Oklahoma City metro area. Tim Lasher and his team have more than 130 years of combined experience. They recognize a significant number of homeowners live with inadequate home comfort systems. They specialize in diagnosing your home system issues while providing more efficiency and reducing your utility costs. As an authorized dealer of American Standard, Tim can service your residence or business. Call Tim and his team at 405-579-3113. Lasher Home Comfort Systems.
For over 80 years, Primrose Funeral Service has been providing comfort and guidance during difficult times. Pre-planning with Primrose can help make things a little easier for families. Not only can you pre-plan a funeral, but you can pre-plan your sunset cemetery arrangements, which removes the difficulty of planning for a loss at the same time loved ones are experiencing one. Contact Primrose Funeral Service at 405-321-6000 or visit them online at primrosefuneralservice.com.
Fowler Automotive is proud to be a part of your community, where our passion and values lie far beyond the showroom. We believe that families, sports, art, and culture are at the heart of every thriving community, and it's important to us that we help build the communities that our dealerships call home. Stop by any of our 6 Oklahoma dealerships to see the Fowler Standard hard at work. We pride ourselves on being friendly, helpful, honest, and fair. This is what drives us every day. Fowler Automotive, a proud partner of OU Athletics. Looking for the ultimate way to bring fun to your home this season? Galaxy Home Recreation has you covered. From top-of-the-line pool tables, hot tubs with the best hydrotherapy in the business, to exciting home theater seating. Visit our showroom today and let our experts create the perfect setup for family fun or entertaining friends. Located outside of the Sooner Mall in Norman on the north side of the building. Mention this radio ad and receive your exclusive offer. Galaxy Home Recreation, family-owned and operated in Oklahoma since 1975.
Want a chance to win big with your bracket this March? The Refs Bracket Challenge is back in 2025, and we are once again the home of winning big amidst the madness this March.
Why don't you explain this to me like I'm 5?
Just visit kref.com/bracket and click the link to join the Refs Bracket Challenge to see if you have what it takes to best our hosts and the rest of the Ref Army for a chance at March glory.
Do it! Just do it!
The Refs 2025 Bracket Challenge is brought to you by Louie's Grill and Bar. Louie's Grill and Bar is the perfect spot to watch your bracket look brilliant or get busted this March. Visit louisgrillandbar.com for a location near you. Make the right call. Join the Refs Bracket Challenge by March 20th before games tip off, and you'll have a chance to win big, courtesy of Louie's Grill and Bar, the home of Sooner fans and the home for the best giveaways this March.
Hey, my man David came out here, and he was looking for Patti LaBelle tickets. I didn't have any Patti LaBelle tickets today, but he's a big listener. I appreciate him coming by, likes the show. But I talked to Amy. Amy's super cool with the Showplace Theater. And, David, we are going to have a pair of Patti LaBelle tickets for you and your wife here next week, all right? I promise. So I had you give me your number, so I will text you and make sure again that you know about this, and that you're going to get the Patti LaBelle tickets next week, my friend. So thank you for coming by. He looked very disappointed. The wife wants to see Patti LaBelle, but we are going to get those tickets for you next week. All right, we'll have them for you. Maybe I can even talk to Amy and just have her, save those for you at the box office, man. I'll let you know. All right, Brandon Drum joining us on the Riverwind Casino Hotline. Brandon, man, we have talked about some tough losses for Sooner fans. The exhilaration of thinking Oklahoma is going to pull this off. They're going to come back from 11 down with 1:44 left in the game and win this. And then Oweh strikes again. So your thoughts on what happened last night and what's ahead for Oklahoma, because it's almost a certainty they're at least headed to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that they're headed to the NCAA tournament, obviously. I think that was a big question mark the last couple of weeks, but they've really turned it on. You got to give it up to Porter Moser and how this team's playing at the end of the year. They're peaking at the right time, and that's always good. then you never know, because guard play is what's going to carry you in the NCAA tournament. I think if you've got good shooters, they don't have a lot of time to, you know what I mean, evaluate and obviously scout and prepare for teams, because you're playing so quickly, you know, every other day there for a bit. And then you get a couple of days in between, you know, the big regionals and everything like that. But for the most part, it's quick turnaround. You're only seeing these teams once. So guard play comes into play in a massive, massive way. And Oklahoma has one of the best guards in all of college basketball, and Jeremiah Fears. Obviously, they've got some good shooters. The way Forsythe's playing, they've got some good bench play. They've got Wagi's starting to pick things up down low. You know, Moore is always, you know, Jalen Moore has been consistent in how he plays. He's not scoring as much because Fears has taken over a lot. I think Elvis has played pretty well offensively. I mean, they could use good on to get hot again. That would be great for him. But overall, I think things are trending better than it was. And, you know, they were 5 seconds away from playing Alabama in the quarterfinals, and that would have been really cool for Oklahoma to make it that far after, you know, just the SEC regular season that they had. I guess it was awesome how they came back. I still, you know, I get the moving screen on Goodine. I get it. Like, that guy was holding him halfway down the court so that he couldn't go in double. And that's fine, but you need somebody that's going to be a little bit better defensively, like a Forsythe on the court, not have, you know, Elvis out there playing defense. And I think that was an issue. And you need to deny him the pass to get in. You knew OA was going to get denied. Make somebody else catch the ball in bounds and waste a second or two to get him the ball. And then, you know, it's going to take him longer to get down the court. He scored with a little over, he said 0.5, but I think there was probably 1.5 when the ball went in from the looks of it. But still, it doesn't matter. Like, you wasted too much time by not denying him the inbounds and at least doubling. I don't know. There's a lot of things you probably could have done differently, and I bet Moser's probably kicking himself. He probably thought that was the best route, and I get it. But at the same time, you don't want to risk fouling. I get all the things that go into pressuring, denying, all that type of stuff. But sometimes you've got to make sure that the strongest player on the court, that you can't stop when he gets downhill. The second he turned his shoulders, it was over. I even tweeted it before and said, there's 5.6 seconds, man. Oh, they got OA. Like, we've seen this before. And then it happened, and that just sucks for Oklahoma.
Now, Brandon, as we look ahead, Oklahoma's safely in the tournament field, probably shouldn't even have to play in Dayton based on most projections. They should be in as, or I should say, with a bye to the round of 64. And one of the major limiting factors for this basketball program has been the lack of NIL commitment, has been the lack of payroll. What do you think a tournament run does for this program in that regard? How do you think it might increase their pool of money with which they're working to build a roster for the 2025-26 season with the knowledge that, hey, they just went to the tournament?
Look, and Parker's only asking this question because I went on a rant in our group text last night over this. And he knows this is like a sore subject for me. He likes to do this on the radio. Look, it's super like Porter Moser's a good coach. You have Oweh and Uzan still on your roster with Jeremiah Fears and Jalen Moore if you just open up, you know, your purse strings a little bit in NIL. Like, this is all they had to do to have a good basketball program. The fans show up for that roster in the Lloyd Noble. Like, that happens. And I think it makes what Porter did even more impressive this year. Yes, Jalen Moore, Jeremiah Fears, great players, good pieces, great pieces to build around, great foundation. But I think even Fears is playing better than everybody thought he was going to play as a freshman. Everybody knew he was good, but they didn't know he was that good. And now, you know, you look back at it, and if you're a donor at the University of Oklahoma, you got to feel like you saying no might have cost them a deep run into the tournament at the end of the day, because Porter proved what he can do, and we were hating on him. I'm first raised my hand. I hated on Porter Moser during the SEC conference play. It all goes back to NIL at this point. Like, he has recruited well. You go back and look at all the recruiting classes that he's brought in. It's great. But you need to build in the transfer portal, and you've got to do it well, and they have done a poor job of that because he hasn't had the funds. Now, apparently, we're being told that they're going to have more funds, and it's going to be middle of the road in the SEC right now from what they've got. That's still not going to cut it. If you want to be the Alabamas, the Floridas, the Tennessees, right? If you want to be even Ole Miss, right? Or I know probably the Auburns of the world, you've got to open up and pay more. You've got a coach that's proven that he can win, has proven he can win. He won at Loyola Chicago. He has won for the most part at Oklahoma. He's had some bad luck as far as tournament stuff goes. But a lot of that has to do with limited depth, limited roster depth because of NIL. And now that he has it, and he's proven that he can get you into the tournament, man, now you've got to open it. You have to open up if you want to be competitive in all the sports in the SEC. Have to.
Brandon Drum, OU Insider, with us on the Riverwind Casino Hotline here on this Friday. All right, Future Freaks happened last weekend. I want to know from you, Brandon Drum, your top 3 prospects, 1, 2, 3, as to who you think might be the Sooners' next commitment in this class.
Man, next 3 commitments in this class.
Or the top 3 candidates to just be the next commitment.
Okay, here you go. I'm going to say Jonathan Hatton, running back. Let's committed to Oklahoma. Now, I think Oklahoma's in a really good spot there. It's got to be maybe I would have said Caden Jones a long time ago, but now I don't know, man. Like, as far as top 3 commits, Parker, you're going to have to help me, man. Like, 'cause it doesn't feel like this class is – I'm just going to tell you, Mike, I don't think that this class is one that's going to happen until the official visits the way it feels like at this point. It feels like most everybody that Oklahoma's in on looks to be wanting to take their visits. Now, maybe a Bo Bentley surprises people and commits, but then that pushes out Jaden O'Neal, and I know you fans don't want that. You just moved him Mustang. I just think there's a lot of things at play here that just feel like it's a big juggling act for Oklahoma. But I think Jonathan Hatton, Oklahoma, running back, they're in a good spot. I think they're in a better spot, quietly in a really good spot for Taj Overton at Owasso. Like, he keeps showing up to Oklahoma. I'm trying to think of an offensive lineman that Oklahoma may be in a decent spot for, or a safety. So that would be my best bet at this point, would be one of those positions, safety. I don't know. It'd be a safety or an offensive lineman, but at this juncture, I really don't know. Like, just because it feels like everybody that Oklahoma is recruiting right now wants to take an official visit. That's just the way it feels like. They want to get their official visits done. So I would be lying to you if I said I knew like a third guy off the top of my head that I felt like Oklahoma was in. Just a magnificent spot for that. Maybe a commitment happens over the next few weeks, and I just don't think that's happening.
Now, Brandon, obviously a big topic of conversation this week amongst the fan base, naturally, has been Jaren Canick's transition to the offensive side of the ball, playing tight end now. But another big topic of conversation, and one thing that Oklahoma has certainly made an effort to push on social media, is the potential rising stardom of one Giovanni Gibson, the Arkansas Pine Bluff transfer. How much excitement does he bring to the table for Oklahoma at that wide receiver position? And based on what you've seen from him so far, is there a comparison you might be able to make there to a former Sooner wide receiver that people might recognize?
Oh, man, that's a good question. He's been really exciting. You know who he kind of reminds me of, and he's wearing the same number? Just body frame, the looks, the way he plays. He plays big and strong, but he also can make plays out in space. And I don't think Oklahoma used this receiver the right way in 2013 and 2014. And that's LaColton Bester. I don't know if people remember him, but he reminds me a lot of LaColton Bester. a lot. Like
LaColton Bester, Alabama Sugar Bowl hero, Brandon, of course.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, he does. He reminds me a lot of him. Obviously, I think Oklahoma's going to use him properly. That offense back in the day, and that wasn't on Heupel. It was more the quarterback play more than anything else was the issue. They had such good wide receivers. They had Shepard. Like, Shepard wasn't even being used properly at that point, if people remember correctly. It wasn't until Baker showed up that Shepard became that guy, right? Like, he became that dude. I think LaColton Bester is a really good comparison. Kind of similar body frame, 6'2", 6'3"-ish, right? About 205. Can play out in space, physical at the point of attack when it comes to the ball, not going to get pushed around, but also is really hard to bring down and has a knack for the big play. And LaColton Bester had the knack for the big play when he played at Oklahoma. So he reminds me a lot of him, but I think he's going to be a lot more productive than him. And he gets to be kind of the number 2 guy, right? I think we all believe Deion Burks at the end of the day is going to be number 1. I think you're going to have Giovanni Gibson as number 2, and I think that's a good 1-2 punch. And it's crazy because he came from being a Division II player, then he went to Arkansas Pine Bluff and dominated, and now he's at the SEC, and he's doing really well against a really good defense in spring ball. So we'll see where it goes from here.
Okay, Brandon. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens down the road with the Bo Bentley situation and Jaden O'Neal. It's either going to turn out great. Is there any chance they could keep both? Who knows? It seems unlikely, but you never know. But I could also see the text line. Way to go, Arbuckle. Way to go. You got Bo Bentley. Now Jaden O'Neal's front runner for the Heisman. You know, or it might be different. Who knows?
Yeah.
But we'll see how that works out. Hey, Brandon, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. We'll talk to you next Friday.
All right, thank you, guys.
Brandon Drum, ladies and gentlemen. I'm doing a lot of stuff trying to make sure a couple people get some tickets. David, you're good. You should be good to go, all right? Our man David, big listener, really nice guy. Came by, like I said, for some Patti LaBelle tickets because old dummy sportscaster, sports host yesterday said, yeah, I should have the tickets. Well, this week we didn't get any tickets. We will get them next week. But Amy over at the box office said, yeah, got you taken care of. You're going to be good to go. Got his name to Amy. Amy said, 2 tickets, Patti LaBelle coming up. That's how they operate here at Riverwind. That's why they are the best. All right, let's take a break. Come back. We'll get the poll question results. We'll get a few YouTube chats in as well and hit the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line on this Friday edition of Steelman and Thune here on the home of Sooner fans.
Hey, Sooner fans. This is Jaron Kanik, and you're listening to The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
The Ref is the home of Sooner fans and is once again your home for chaos. Every game-changing hit.
Long fly ball to left. Track. Whoa. Gone.
Every strikeout.
Got him. Swinging.
Every defensive gem.
He caught it. He caught it.
Every game. All year. The Ref has you covered.
Catch Sooner Baseball's first SEC road trip against South Carolina this Friday at 6, Saturday at 3, and Sunday at noon right here on the Ref and the KREF app.
This is Peggy Doviak, and I opened DM Wealth Management because of a horrible experience that my mother had with a stockbroker. I wanted to give people an alternative, a place they could go to understand their money, to know why investment decisions were made the way they were, and to create a financial plan that would help them meet their goals. Most of all, I wanted to help them plan their prosperity. Call me at 405-329-8884 or dmwealth.com.
Tired of your current living situation? Now is the best time to make a move. Interest rates are dropping and Home Creations is offering the best financing around with rates as low as 3.625%. This will save you hundreds per month on your brand new Home Creations home. Live like a champion today by calling Holly at 405-364-9999 for full details.
364-9999. Home Creations.
APR 6.508%.
I'm Gina Mitchell of Mitchell's Jewelry. Our showroom is home to classic favorites like diamond earrings and pearl strands, plus cool watches from Michelle and Shinola, and cases full of the latest trends. We are known for our engagement rings and love giving our customers every option, straight from our cases or in their very own custom design, with natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, or colored gemstones. Shop with us in-store or shop our website or Instagram. Mitchell's Jewelry in the heart of Norman at 2201 West Main Street.
Hi, this is Monty Markham at Markham's Nursery. It's that time of year to get outside and spend some time in the yard, planting your favorite trees, shrubs, and flowers, and we've got a huge selection of them at Markham's. This Saturday and Sunday only, March the 15th and 16th, is our annual spring open house at all Markham's locations. Come by and stock up on seeds, bulbs, pottery, fertilizers, yard ornaments, and much more. We hope to see you this Saturday.
Markham's Nursery, just add the sun.
Hey y'all, I'm Kelly Clarkson. Every American dreams of creating a better life for his or her family, but in some communities, those dreams face difficult challenges. When we come together to help those in need get the same opportunities as everyone else, we truly are making our country a better place to live for all of us. So look for volunteer opportunities in your community to help others achieve the American dream, all right? This message is courtesy of the United States Air Force.
Farmers and ranchers, when it's time to buy or sell ag equipment, think Purple Wave Auction. We're your go-to online marketplace for tractors, combines, sprayers, and more. With our no reserve policy, every item sells to the highest bidder. Experience the Purple Wave difference. Nationwide reach with a local touch. Purple Wave Auction. Whether you're expanding your operation or streamlining your fleet, we've got you covered. Visit purplewave.com today. Fuel your farm with Purple Wave Auction.
Once upon a time, our family had trouble with pests around our home. Did you know that stinging insects send tons of people to the hospital? And teeny ticks and mosquitoes can be all around the yard. Their bites can make people and their pets sick. Mice, rats, and roaches need food and water just like us. You do not want them to visit. They can spread disease and make it hard to breathe. I'm sure glad this story has a happy ending.
Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
One more award-winning segment here on a Friday at Riverwind Casino. And as always, a lot of stuff happening at Riverwind tonight. Once again, we've got the drawings in the $80K Golden Clovers giveaway. Win your share of $80K in cash and bonus play. I recommend you play with your wild card whenever you can. When you're out here, you need that Riverwind wild card. They're free. You can upgrade them also, but they're free, and they'll help you, increase your odds of winning these promotions. And, again, if you play with your wild card for the Friday night drawings on Monday and Tuesday and get a certain amount of points on your wild card, it's not a ton. It's very doable. Then you earn 5 times the entries or more in these giveaways on Friday nights. Also, through tomorrow night, we are continuing with the 30K four-leaf Fever promotion. We're going to share $30K in cash, bonus play, and prizes there. The 30K Shamrock Surprise. You can win your share of $30K in cash and bonus play in hot seat drawings. The next round of drawings, though, will be happening on a Saturday night, March 22nd. And the 30K Clubs and Clovers promotion, that is going on Monday through Wednesdays in March. They're giving away $30K in cash and bonus play in that promotion as well. And a Grammy Award-winning Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Bonnie Raitt will be in concert at the Showplace Theater coming up tomorrow night. Riverwind, best selection of electronic games, all your favorite table games, world-class poker room, off-track betting, best bars and dining options, easily the best promotions. Riverwind Casino sets the standard for the casino experience in the metro area. Good times and great rewards always here at Riverwind. Okay, let's check in real quick with Blake Gamble on today's YouTube poll question, and we may have a couple chats. The old man, I lose track of YouTube. My bad.
You're good, Steelman.
What do we have? Did I say Brandon or Blake?
No, you got my name right.
Okay. All right, Blake. What do we have, my man?
Final results from the poll question, which today was, if you're on the selection committee, what seed would you give to OU? The winner today, they would give OU the 10 seed and include them in the last 4 buys. The runner-up today, either an 8 or a 9 seed. So our listeners on the YouTube chat, they think that OU has done enough to clear themselves of a trip to the first 4 in Dayton. We also asked a question at the top of the show about devastating losses in OU history and what was the worst one that they thought. Les chimed in, the 71 game of the century. I wasn't around for that one. Kenneth chimes in with the Sam Bradford game versus Tim Tebow in the national championship.
Yeah, that one pass, I think it was Joaquin Iglesias that was just overthrown. And by the way, you had to deal with Aaron Hernandez in that game too. But the real problem for OU in that game was Percy Harvin.
Yeah, Percy Harvin was a killer. What a tragedy. It's crazy to think it has been 16 years. It has been 16 years since that game.
Yeah. Our old urban liar.
And we haven't watched Oklahoma play for a national title since.
Yeah, crazy. All right, Parker, we can wrap things up here on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. But first, I want to make sure I get this in before we get out of here. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, Mondays usually are not cool. But this coming Monday, is going to be ultra cool. We're going to be out at the Buffalo Wild Wings in Moore for the 68 team giveaway. We've got a bunch of grand prizes, over $20,000 in prizes, more than 30 instant hourly prizes to give away as well. It's going to be great. Grand prize, a trip to OU Texas weekend, sponsored by Fowler Automotive. 2 tickets to the Omni, 2 tickets to the game. Also 2 nights at the Omni Hotel in downtown Dallas. Visa gift card to cover your expenses. We're also giving away a new PS5 with a gaming gift card sponsored by our friend Gary Cavins and Cavins Group, plus an OU baseball package with tickets to the Vandy, Ole Miss, and Texas series, plus a Visa gift card there. And the folks right here at Riverwind, of course, Riverwind, they get involved in everything. They're bringing a great package for you, including a hotel stay, concert tickets, and dinner at Riverwind Casino. And we want to thank all of our great sponsors, First United Bank, Sooner Bowl, Primrose Funeral Service, OEC Fiber, Mitchell's Jewelry, there we go, Newton Gina over there, Valiance Bank, the Trails Golf Club, Signature Pool, Gateway Mortgage, Tribes Gallery, Confidence Ford, Buffalo Wild Wings, Bob Hurley RV, which is a lot better than Dan Hurley RV. That would be a very angry RV location. Bob Hurley RV is awesome, though. Fast Signs of Norman, Westwood Golf and Water Park, Winter Creek Golf and Country Club, Armstrong Bank, Signature Pool and Patio, and Sweat is free. Monday, Buffalo Wild Wings and more. All right, Parker, what else do we have?
On the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, K-Dub in the 918 says, incredibly proud of Porter and his team. They never quit and gave everything they had. Seeing how ill-prepared OU's athletic department was for the SEC in football and basketball has been the biggest gut punch. Lackluster, lame home atmospheres, good but not elite NIL, an arena so old Elvis played there, etc. That's so embarrassing.
That's a good line. An arena so old that Elvis played there. And a young, let's see, I would have been 13-year-old Mike Steely was there. My parents said, you're going to see Elvis. I was like, Elvis? Really? Oh, my gosh. He's got that white jumpsuit and he sweats all over himself. I don't want to go see Elvis. I might be seen there by cool people. But my parents said, you're going. Once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and they were right. And once the lights went down and the da-da-da, da-da-da, the spotlight, the strobes started going around the arena, it was pretty cool. And it was it had to be one of his last shows, I would think. So, yeah, I was there. That's right. That's a good way. An arena so old that Elvis Presley played there. I wonder how many arenas in the SEC would have been able to host Elvis in 1977. Might have to go ahead and Google it up. All right, what else, Parker?
Krabby Sooner says they couldn't power run on the goal line in the Florida National Championship game. Yeah, do recall that.
Yeah,
they had
that's
struggles
true.
punching it in.
You would have had DeMarco Murray and Chris Brown. It might have been a different story, right?
Big Rich in OKC says, hey, guys, are the big money people like Trey Young, Blake Griffin, and all the BMDs, are they not stepping up for basketball? And if so, why not? Well,
I mean, Blake Griffin built the practice facility pretty much, didn't he?
That he did. And
I
Trey
mean,
Young
still
is
pretty good.
Yeah, and Trey Young has obviously done a lot for the Norman community as a whole. I mean, you look at YFAC, and he's in town, he's hanging out, he's doing good with his platform. But as far as the BMDs and just the NIL allotment that the OU basketball program has been operating with, it's suboptimal, to say the least. Suboptimal, and you would hope it gets better now that Oklahoma is on the precipice of making the NCAA tournament for the first time in the Porter Moser era. Hopefully a tournament trip and ideally a win or two would convince the folks at Oklahoma with the power to dish out more dollars that basketball is worth investing in and that Porter Moser's product is worth investing in. If not, man, it might be a tough season next year because you're not going to have Jeremiah Fears. And again, Jeremiah Fears is what's enabled you to get to this point as a program. He's what's enabled you to get over the hump to the NCAA tournament. Without him, you're a decent team, but not an NCAA tournament team.
So I had, by the way, this is interesting because everybody wants these people to just keep giving more money. So I had a fraternity brother of mine, won't mention his name, wasn't frat bro Mark, but just text me like 3 or 4 weeks ago out of nowhere. He goes, hey, who's that guy you guys always talk about? You know, the dude who's, you know, the big booster that he's been on the radio, I think, before. I was like, Wallace Marsh? Yeah. Can you tell that guy to give more money? Oh, yeah. I'll just call him right up and say, hey, Wallace, hey, any chance, you know, blah, 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 this dude wants you to give some more money. Yeah, I'll make sure and call him. And the bad thing about it is I don't know if he was kidding. I just texted back, I don't think so, in terms of me trying to get in touch with him to ask that. Seriously? So anyway. All right, 405-651-3439. Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line.
The Waffler says, basketball is definitely worth investing in. The problem is we can't get people to go to the games, so why would anybody want to waste their money?
Yeah, OU basketball, like I said, if you can get a Wayman Tisdale, a Blake Griffin, a Trey Young, or just a great team that's like a top 10 team, they'll be there. A lot of folks will be there. But if you're struggling, it's not happening. You know, it's just the way it's been for a long time. And Billy Ball, though, was the best because it was exciting basketball. You know, Billy had an attitude. The team kind of had an attitude. And those were just that arena was popping back in those days. But that was a long time ago.
Christy says it's really none of our business how much Trey or Blake give, and they certainly don't owe us an explanation as to why they don't give more, which is true. Colin Claremore says, can we just put a tariff on every pro athlete that has graduated from the university to pay for our NIL?
Oh, my gosh.
Sooner Coetzel
adds.
Sooner Coetzel said, maybe if we were lucky, maybe that wildfire that is south of Norman right now might hit the LNC and we can start building a new facility. Yeah, by the way, if you're not in the loop on that, the National Weather Service has issued a message at the request of Norman Emergency Management to evacuate parts of southeast Norman due to wildfire. So you should leave areas along and east of 108th Street to 132nd Street and north of Post Oak Road to Highway 9. So if you are in or near that area, be advised that there is wildfire danger.
I need to call my mom. I hope they're going to be over there on the east side. So that could be interesting. I wonder if I can get a home down 35 South. I guess we'll find out. All right, folks, I want to thank everybody here at Riverwind. They're just awesome. And, Amy, thank you for taking care of our listener, David, for those tickets. David came all the way down here. The wife, old dummy sports host said, I'll have some tickets for you to give away tomorrow. And the wife wanted Patti LaBelle tickets. When I told David I didn't have any Patti LaBelle tickets, I could see the look in the man's eyes. I'm going to have to go home and tell my wife, no Patti LaBelle tickets. You know what? When you make a promise that, hey, they're going to have tickets, I'm going to come back with tickets, we'll be good to go. And you got to tell your spouse, I didn't come through for you. That's tough. But guess who did? Amy here at Riverwind in the Showplace Theater. So David's good to go. All right, and that's what we do for our listeners also. And Riverwind, thank you for coming through. All right, appreciate you guys. I hope you have a great weekend. We're going to get locked in coming up next. I will not say anything like Bob Stoops on the way out. I'll just say have a great